So this pair of Carhartts was bought probably about 10 years ago, and this is the pair that just bought. And in the interim, Carhartt's made a lot of improvements that I think are good, and some which I'm going to have to wait and see. The biggest improvement is the layout of the pockets. This one has, I think, the newer one has a much better layout of the pockets. You've got pockets for pens and smaller items. One of the things I'm always sticking in, trying to find a place for in these overalls is screw bits. And they have this pocket here, which is good for retention, but it's really hard for retrieval. I think here I'll be able to stick drill bits and screw bits in here, the long shaft screw bits, and be able to get them a lot better. And that's where my, and a dedicated pocket for my Sharpie is going to go there. Probably my favorite thing, they got rid of the snaps. You'll see these used to snap close, which had pluses and minuses, but here they've actually added a zipper pocket that's the size of the whole front. So that's pretty awesome. So between the pockets, I think this is a big improvement, having these instead of these. And I think that having the zipper pocket is also huge, especially for a cell phone. Like, my cell phone is my safety device when I'm out in the woods working with a chainsaw. That's my lifeline, okay? Another interesting fact, I think the stitching improved. Like, if you look at the size of this stitching and you look at the size of this stitching, this is tighter, which is generally better, because the more connections you make between the two pieces of fabric, the better. Another thing that got upgraded is the thickness of these clips. You see the thickness of that clip compared to the thickness of this clip. All right. And you see this is much thicker. Now, the one thing I am worried about is that whereas this feels like a piece of hardened steel, okay, fresh virgin steel, this feels like bunk metal, which is going to be more brittle. And I think this, or it might even be aluminum, actually, as I think about it. It might just be a hardened piece of aluminum or something. So I'm worried that this might be more brittle. This might bend more readily. This might break. So that remains to be seen. So that's one where I'm kind of like, the jury's out. The other one are the buttons. Another place where I'm like, the jury's out is the buttons. These are the 10-year-old buttons. And it's kind of hard to see here, but this is kind of squeezed together and it's really flat. And again here, this feels like it's lower quality metal somehow. It's just, this feels like this is going to come apart. Like, that button doesn't feel like it was put under enough pressure in the manufacturing process to really make a firm connection, whereas this one's not going anywhere. So I'm not super reliant on the button, so I'm not that worried about it, but I'm kind of questioning it. The other thing they did, of course, was they moved the hammer loop. Okay, so the hammer loop on the old pair is on the left. The hammer loop on the new one's on the right. That's an improvement, to be sure, because most people are right-handed. Though it does make it a little bit harder for me, because I used to put my felling wedges in this pocket, and now it's going to be on my left. So I'll have to see how that works out. This is something, yeah. And again, that really hasn't changed. It just changed size. Other than that, I think it's going to be a good improvement. 10 years of development, and I think they've got a slightly better product. I'm just worried about the quality of the manufacturing, which only time will tell.